Human beings eat to survive, but sometimes people do not eat just to stay alive. They eat to test their courage. Around the world, foods that seem delicious to us may appear horrifying or even disgusting to others. At the same time, what is considered a normal, everyday dish in one culture may look like some kind of extreme challenge in another. Likewise, many of the foods we find tasty may seem unpleasant to people from other countries. This is not always because the food itself is truly disgusting, but because of long-standing traditions, cultural habits, and what people have grown up eating for generations. So, is it really a disgusting food, or simply a culture we do not yet understand? Perhaps the only way to know is to taste it. Fruit bats. In parts of the Pacific region and Asia, roasted fruit bats are eaten as food. They are considered low in fat and high in protein, and they can be prepared in many ways, such as stewing them with green peppers or roasting them whole. On Guam, the Mariana fruit bat was once considered a delicacy, and overhunting caused some species to become rare. The Oxford Companion to Food describes the taste as similar to chicken and notes that it is a clean animal that feeds only on fruit. However, when cooked, it can sometimes produce a urine-like smell, and people say that adding beer, garlic, and chili can help reduce that odor. Balut. Who has never eaten an egg? Eggs are everywhere. They can be fried, scrambled, boiled, seasoned, or cooked in oil in many different ways. The next food, balut, is also a kind of boiled egg. First of all, balut is not a chicken egg, it is a duck egg. There is no need to worry since the taste is similar and many people still eat duck eggs today. The main difference is that most people eat duck eggs before they are fertilized or before the embryo has begun to develop. In the Philippines, however, things are different. Street vendors sell eggs that have been incubated for 17 to 21 days, eggs that are close to hatching. They boil them and sell them to people on the street. People crack the egg open, sip the broth inside first, and then eat the embryo, which may already have formed bones, a beak, and even feathers. Maggot cheese. In Italy, maggot cheese is sometimes created accidentally, and it is illegal to sell it commercially. Even so, it can be sold on the black market for very high prices. So what exactly is maggot cheese? Traditional Italian farmers shape their cheese into wheels and leave them on shelves to dry and mature over time. This usually takes quite a while. Sometimes cracks form on the surface of the cheese. When that happens, the soft interior becomes exposed, giving flies the opportunity to enter and lay eggs. A few days later, larvae hatch and begin eating the cheese. During this process, the saliva of the larvae softens the cheese further and speeds up its breakdown. As a result, the cheese becomes extremely soft and easy to spread. When people eat this cheese, they do not try to avoid the maggots. They eat it while the larvae are still alive and moving. Fried tarantulas. Eating spiders is not common in most parts of the world, but in some regions it has become a tradition. In particular, the town of Skuon in Cambodia is famous for eating fried giant spiders or tarantulas, and it is even sometimes called Spider Town. Spiders are also eaten by some indigenous groups in South America and in certain markets in Thailand. In Cambodia, there is a story that during the famine and hardships of the 1970s, people began catching and eating spiders as a source of protein, and over time this became a tradition. The spiders are usually cleaned, seasoned with salt, garlic, sugar, and soy sauce, then deep fried. After frying, the outside becomes crispy while the inside remains soft. Some people describe the taste as somewhere between chicken and crab, while others say it has a nutty flavor. The hardest part of eating them is often their appearance, especially their many legs, which can be psychologically difficult for some people. The abdomen of certain spiders can also have a soft, slightly thick texture inside. Spiders used for food are typically prepared only after the venom glands have been removed, but people with allergies are still advised to be careful. Mouse wine. In China and Korea, there is a traditional drink known as mouse wine. It is made by placing baby mice into rice wine and allowing it to ferment. 2-day-old live mice are put into a bottle and aged for about a year. It is considered by some to be a health tonic and is said to help with asthma and liver disease. Its taste has been described as similar to gasoline, and in some cases, people even eat the mice after drinking the wine. Guinea pigs, rabbits, pigeons, and parrots. Most people do not walk into a pet shop and think, "That looks delicious." But in reality, many animals we now think of as pets were originally domesticated as food. Take pigeons, for example. They can be shown in exhibitions, raced, or used to carry messages, but they are also eaten. Squab, or young pigeon meat, has been eaten for at least 2,000 years and possibly much longer. Head cheese. Life was not easy for poor people. Even if meat was available, they usually got the worst parts. So what do you do if all you have is the head of a chicken, duck, or pig? You make head cheese. Head cheese is not actually cheese at all. It is a kind of meat jelly made from parts of an animal's head that most people do not want to eat. Sometimes feet are added as well. Its texture is similar to jelly, but inside it contains a mysterious mixture of meat and other parts. It is usually served cold, sliced, and placed on bread. Cobra heart. In some places in Vietnam, there is a tradition of catching a cobra and, while it is still alive, removing its heart with a knife and serving it in a glass mixed with cobra blood and liquor while the heart is still beating. This is seen as something that requires real endurance and courage, and it reflects a tradition that does not pay much attention to the idea of humane slaughter. According to local belief, a person who eats the heart may inherit the snake's speed, strength, and endurance. The snake is not wasted either. The remaining meat is later seasoned with herbs and lemon and cooked as food. It is also said to act as an aphrodisiac and improve sexual performance. Dog meat in Vietnam. In Vietnam, dog meat is accepted to varying degrees and is especially common in the northern regions. It is often considered a winter food, and people believe it helps warm the body on cold nights. Dog meat is prepared in many different ways: grilled, added to spring rolls, stir-fried, or cooked in soups. There are many kinds of dishes, and the head, feet, and internal organs may also be used. Restaurants specializing in dog meat can be found across the country. Some people also believe dog meat enhances sexual performance, and it is sometimes said that it is not suitable for women. Lizards and frogs. In some Asian countries, lizards and frogs are simply normal food. Especially in rural areas, catching them in the wild and roasting them over a fire has been a tradition for hundreds of years. Lizards are often roasted whole, with the skin left on. When cooked over fire, the outside becomes crispy, while the meat inside turns white and tender. People often say the taste is similar to chicken, and it is made more flavorful with seasonings such as garlic, chili, and lemongrass. As for frogs, the thighs are the part most commonly eaten. The meat is high in protein, white in color, and has a texture somewhere between chicken and fish. However, because there are many small bones, people need to be careful while eating. Frogs can be grilled, fried, or added to soup, but grilling is especially popular. Scorpions on a stick. Scorpions on a stick are a strange kind of street food found in some night markets and tourist streets in China. They were especially known around Wangfujing in Beijing, where they attracted the attention of many visitors. The scorpions are skewered on wooden sticks and usually deep-fried. At some stalls, they are displayed while still alive before being dropped into hot oil, which makes the experience feel even more frightening and adventurous. Because live scorpions can still sting, people need to be careful when looking at them up close. After frying, the venom is generally believed to be neutralized, but people with allergies should still be cautious. Those who have tried them describe the taste as nutty, crispy, and containing very little meat. In most cases, the experience is more important than the flavor itself. This food is less an everyday local staple, and more a tourist attraction or dare food experience. In some traditional beliefs, insects and scorpions are thought to have warming properties for the body. Today, people often try foods like this out of curiosity, for social media content, to overcome fear, or as part of a travel adventure. Rodent on a stick. Rodent on a stick is a type of street food found in some parts of Southeast Asia, especially in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Usually, it is not made from dirty city rats, but from field rats that live in agricultural areas. These animals are caught, skinned, cleaned, and gutted, then roasted whole or in pieces on skewers over a fire. Sometimes they are seasoned with garlic, chili, lemongrass, and salt. Roasting makes the outside crispy while keeping the meat inside tender. People who have tried it say the taste is similar to chicken, while some compare it to rabbit. It is considered high in protein and low in fat, making it an important food source in rural areas. Culturally, it is seen as a practical and waste-free way to make use of animals that would otherwise damage crops. However, for people raised in cities, the appearance can be shocking. Today, in some travel destinations, it has also become a novelty food for tourists, something that looks frightening but is still edible. Sanakchi, or live raw octopus, is a fairly common dish among locals in Korea. One of the best places to try it is Gwangjang Market, one of the oldest wholesale markets in central Seoul. Around 70% of the street food stalls there sell sanakchi, and the prices are generally similar. Sanakchi is made by cutting a live long-armed octopus into small pieces. The pieces of tentacle are then served on a plate with sesame oil and roasted sesame seeds. Century egg. Century egg is made by preserving duck, chicken, or quail eggs in a mixture of salt, black tea, lime, and ash for anywhere from 5 weeks to 5 months. As a result of this process, the egg turns dark, almost black in color. These eggs can commonly be found in many parts of Hong Kong and mainland China, especially at street stalls, markets, and during celebrations such as the Lunar New Year. People who have tried them often say the taste is not as terrible as expected, but many also say they would not want to eat them a second time. Fried grasshoppers in Bangkok. Fried grasshoppers in Bangkok are one of Thailand's more unusual street foods. They are especially popular around Khao San Road and in night markets, where they attract the attention of many tourists. For Thai people, eating insects is not something new. They are considered a cheap, traditional, and protein-rich food source. The grasshoppers are cleaned, deep-fried, and then seasoned with soy sauce, salt, and sometimes chili or lemongrass. They are eaten whole, including their long, crispy legs. The outside is very crunchy, while the inside is light and hollow. Some people describe the taste as nutty, though in many cases the soy sauce flavor is the strongest. The strangest part of eating them is the sensation of the crispy legs crunching in the mouth. Not truly terrifying, but psychologically difficult for first-time eaters. Fried silkworm larvae. Fried silkworm larvae are considered a traditional food in Assam, a state in northeastern India. In particular, the larvae of Eri and Muga silkworms are commonly eaten. Assam is famous for silk production, and after the silk thread has been extracted, the remaining larvae are not wasted but used as food instead. This reflects a practical waste-free culture. The larvae are usually cleaned, seasoned with salt, turmeric, chili, garlic, and onion, then fried or stir-fried in oil. After cooking, the outside becomes slightly crispy, while the inside remains soft and oily. Some people describe the taste as similar to nuts or eggs. Because they are rich in protein and fat, local people consider them highly nutritious. Fermented shark meat. This is shark meat. Greenland shark cannot be eaten fresh, so it is buried underground and fermented for several months, then hung up to dry in the open air. The smell is so strong that first-time eaters are said to tear up from it. In Iceland, It is traditionally cut into small cubes and eaten with liquor during festive occasions. So, were these really the world's grossest foods, or simply cultures we do not fully understand? They may look shocking, but behind every dish is a story, a history, and a way of life. Which one would you dare to try?